all exhausted from just watching Manchester United beat Anderlecht 2-1 to reach the Europa League semi-final. But only a few days later, we've got a trip to Burnley, back in the Premier League, in what could be a very tough game for Manchester United. Burnley obviously have excellent form. We're going to talk about Burnley's form, our most recent meeting at Old Trafford, as we always do. Who are the danger men for Burnley, and what do we expect from this game? Going into this game, Manchester United have won our last two matches. We obviously won at home against Chelsea. Probably the performance of the season? No, definitely the performance of the season. Outstanding, outstanding tactical display by Jose Mourinho, and from every single player we saw 100% commitment. Then came the Anderlecht game, an early goal against Anderlecht. You're thinking, yes, we're building on this Chelsea momentum. Not really. We really struggled against them. It was a very, very nervous Old Trafford crowd. A very nervous performance overall, but we got the job done thanks in no small part to Marcus Rashford, who is in stunning form. 3 goals and an assist in his last 4 games. And with Zlatan Ibrahimovic looking like he's going to be out injured, what a time for Rashford to come into some form. He's getting more minutes through a central striking position, and he is showing Jose Mourinho now what he can do in that role. Because earlier in the season, when Ibrahimovic got banned for elbowing Mings, Rashford had a couple of games up front and he didn't do enough. But what he's showing now is how good he can be in that position. And how is Burnley's form coming into this game? Well, they've only won 1 out of their last 6 games in the Premier League, and that was a home win against Stoke. But over the course of the season, Burnley are above us in the form table in terms of how many points they've got at home this season. They're 6th in that table, Man United are 7th. Now, they did lose against Spurs most recently at home, and they've also lost, I believe, against Man City there. They've drawn against Chelsea. So they are a tough team to beat at home. So Man United have got to take that into account. Sean Dyche, I've been called Sean Dyche, but a skinnier version. Maybe I'm going to play it up against my counterpart for this game. But Manchester United, we are going to be favourites going into the game as such, but Burnley's home form over the course of the season is definitely going to give them a real confidence going into this match. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to talk about our most recent meeting, the 0-0 at Old Trafford. We had 38 shots, 11 on target, 72% possession. 0-0. I know, it was such a ridiculous game. Tom Heaton had a world-class performance. The finishing has been very poor at points this season, but in that game he made a number of top draw saves that should have been goals, but they weren't because he stopped them. Now, it's painful to remember that game, but because of that, we know exactly how Burnley are going to play against us. And we knew exactly how Bournemouth were going to play against us a few weeks ago at Old Trafford, and that ended in a draw. But Man United cannot be naive going into this game, and hopefully, if Marcus Rashford does start up front, will he start up front? I'm not sure. He played 120 minutes against Anderlecht. He played the full 90 against Chelsea. Will he have the energy to play in that game? That's one of my concerns going into the match. But Man United are just being resilient this season, aren't we? You know, that Anderlecht game really showed it. We weren't playing that good. We were creating chances, but the finishing was atrocious for the large majority of that game. But we came out on top. You know, the win against Chelsea was a dominant first minute to last minute win. The win against Anderlecht was gritty. It was tough. It was resilient, but we got there in the end. Different types of win, different types of performances. But ultimately, Manchester United just aren't losing games. We really aren't losing many games at all. Chelsea, obviously, they've beaten us twice this season, and Hull in the EFL Cup semi-final. But we're unbeaten now in 22 league games. That's not a coincidence. Yes, a lot of those games are frustrating draws, but they're not losses. Not any team can say that in the top 5 European leagues. And the more of these wins, the more of these games we continue to go undefeated, the more the confidence will start to grow. We're now in the Europa League semi-final. We've got an advantage in this top 4 race after a confident win over Chelsea. We need to cement that with 3 points away at Turf Moor in what is going to be a tough game. Burnley's danger man on paper is Andre Gray. He's their top scorer with 8 goals, but I would say their danger man, probably Tom Heaton again. You know, is he going to have another world-class performance? Whatever we do, we have to make sure that we start hitting him with shots early. Make sure, keep him on his toes, keep him on his feet. Because if we let them get comfortable, we let Burnley sit back and disciplined and deep, and we don't break those lines, it's going to be another one of those days. It really is. As I said, a slight concern for United is the energy levels going into this game. Rashford's been phenomenal in his last 3 games, man of the match every time, but he's played 120 minutes against Anderlecht at home, and he was the star of the show against Chelsea with a barnstorming performance and saw him run everywhere for the whole game. It was ridiculous how much running he did. So is Rashford going to be fit to start up front? Is Ibrahimovic going to be fit? He went off with a dodgy-looking knee injury. Luke Shaw said he's walking around the changing room, so that's a positive thing, but it didn't look like a very nice injury. And he could well be injured for this game, which means Rashford, the onus is on him to start up front, or is it Wayne Rooney coming back in? Or is it Anthony Martial starting up front? We do have options, but everybody's going to be pointing towards Rashford and whether or not he has the energy or not to play in this game. As always, we'll do our starting 11 show, so make sure you check that out. We'll leave a link in the description, or just make sure you check it out on the channel, youtube.com/UnitedPeoplesTV, but you know that by now. As for the prediction, I'm going for Manchester United to win this game. I'm going for a 2-1 win. The reason I'm saying that is because I think Burnley will score from a set piece, I believe. Michael Keane, there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on him after it came out on Sky Sources this week that he's going to be leaving Burnley. Will he be coming back to Old Trafford, following in the same footsteps as Paul Pogba? He was in the same FA Youth Cup winning team as Pogba and Lingard. Will he join the starting 11 with them as well? Now, so it'll be interesting to see how Keane plays, but I think Burnley will get a goal. Will Man United score two? Maybe I'm being a little bit too adventurous here, but I don't know. United are filling me with a confidence this season. And even when we're playing badly, we're still winning or not losing. And now it's come to this business end of the season. People are not going to remember performances. People are going to remember results. And Mourinho is a results-driven manager. And coming into this business end of the season, we just need results. And if that can come out as a 2-1 gritty win away at Turf Moor against a tough Burnley team at home, I will take that right now. And so would everybody else. But what are your predictions for the game? Let me know in the comments. As always, subscribe to United People's TV if you are new, and make sure you check out our prediction show for the Burnley game as well. See you soon.